Pack, please, Santiago. And the title of the presentation is Used Mobile Phones and Business Models.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here again and this year in this new Mobile World Congress. And this presentation is very dear to me because it allows me to combine the two hats that I have. So besides working for iREPACK, I also have an academic hat, so I coordinate the business plans for a university in Uruguay, my home country. And so I decided to put together a presentation to share a bit of information about the used mobile phone industry, and then also see and take a look at what the business models that we are looking and that different companies have in this arena. So before I get in, I want you to hold on to one number, let's say. I learned that the mobile phones, the industry of the mobile phones, is very similar to the industry of the cars. And if you start to think about that, there are many similarities. Well, last year in Spain, only 1 million cars, 1 million new cars were sold, whereas 2 million used cars were sold. So 1 million new, 2 million used cars, okay? Let's hold on to that. So, we're going to be talking about the market, the benefits of used mobile phones, the main business models, there are many more, and also what we envision will be the future of the used mobile phones. So let's jump into it. Before we do that, this is a picture of our lovely team in Madrid, a team of professionals that have been in the industry for a long time, and we do what we do. We give mobile phones a second life. So we buy everywhere in the world, bring them to Madrid, and then from Madrid they go out mainly to the European Union, but also to many other places in the world. And I told you a bit about what I do. All right, so here's a snapshot of what the industry of the mobile phones is right now. What we see in the market is that, and this is a number that the first time you see it can surprise, 1 of every 5 phones that are sold is used. And this is already, every year is growing. So it's very interesting that when you think about 1 out of 5 is already used, it's interesting. But when you think about what I told you at the beginning, 2 million used, 1 million new, so it's a very different thing. So what I envision is that there is a lot of room for growth in the used space. The other thing that we see, and we're seeing, we're not seeing it, I'm seeing it there, that there is an increase in the number of mobile phones that are used that are being sold. So in a market that last year we've seen a decrease in the number of mobile phones that were sold, in all terms, we've seen an increase in the used mobile phones. So 12% versus an 11% decrease. What is behind that? Why is causing that? Well, the first thing is the trading programs. They are more common nowadays. It's very common that for you to go and take your mobile phone, the one you were using, and trade it or get a discount from the one you're going to buy. And the second thing is that people are seeing that this is a cost-saving opportunity. Yeah? So instead of paying $1,000 for a brand new phone, you can pay maybe $400, $450 and still get a used phone of a very good brand. So we're seeing that in the market, an increase and very strong basis for driving forces. Some of the benefits that we see. I told you about the cost savings. I also told you that with what you have right now in terms of used phones is that you get access to technology of a very good quality, and you don't have to pay as much as you would have to pay if it were a new phone. Also, what you have is an opportunity to make some money. So people that used to keep their phones in the drawers in their houses are now being tempted to say, go to the store and get some bucks from it. And then the last thing is that environmentally awareness is picking up everywhere in the world, and so people want to reduce the e-waste that we generate. So many benefits for the used phones. So with a growing market and the benefits that we see, many more companies are jumping in this space. And I selected 4 different types of companies to talk about their business models and how they operate. The first one is Back Market. I'm sure you're familiar with this. It's a very big marketplace. They specialize in used devices. They have created a very simple grading. They have 3 categories, and it's very easy for consumers to buy. I like to call it the Amazon of the used gadgets. So for the customer, you can buy warranties, you can return it if you don't like it, so it works really well. So that's one. Marketplaces that are being, appearing everywhere in the world. The second one, it's called Declutter. This is big in the US, not as much here in Europe. What they do is, it's a big web page. They started just by giving the opportunity to consumers to buy phones from them. Now they're also selling them. So that's why they have buyback and refurbishing program. They take phones from consumers, then they process them, and then they sell them. But from the consumer point of view, it's a very nice place for you to log into a website, tell them what phone you have, and see how much money they can pay you for that. And it's really easy in terms of you get to print the label, mail it for free, and when they receive it, what they do is they run a test, and what they guarantee is that they give you the money that they told you they will give you, or they can give it back. Because sometimes it does happen that when they receive it and they test it, some things do not work, and so they cannot pay you what they told you. So the option is, I can pay you less, or I can give it back to you. So that's Declutter. Then we have iREPACK, our company. It's a B2B business model mainly. What we do is we buy whole batches of phones from mobile operators all over the world, and I'm talking 10,000 phones, 15,000 phones that you get many different sorts. We classify them, sort them, and then sell them to our customers. So that's another business model. And then the last one, which I think is very interesting, it's called Eco ATM. It's also big in the US. And what they've done is, this company is very interesting because they developed like ATM machines where you can withdraw money. But the thing is, you take your used phone, you put it in there, they take pictures, you plug a cable, they do a diagnosis, and they tell you how much they're going to give it. If you accept the price, they give you instant cash for it. So they don't pay you much. They are more into getting phones that are really old, that don't have much value. But hey, if you have those, phones in the drawer that are just, collecting dust, it's a good way to get rid of them and make some money out of it. So we've seen 4 business models. There are many more. What we envision for the future. This is picking up, and it will continue to be, more enforced through countries via regulations. We're seeing some plastic taxes here in Europe, that when you import, you need to pay some taxes for the plastics that you import. So that's going to continue, and it will create more opportunities for the sector. The growth, we're seeing an 11% steady growth up to 2026, and to me, it's going to continue. I always remember about the cars, 2 to 1, and here we are just 1 in 5. So it's going to continue. Trading programs, they're going to become more and more common everywhere in the world. There are some sectors, some countries that this is not very common still, but they will continue to grow. And then the last one, AI. And 2023 seems to be the year of AI. We are seeing companies like the one of our friends of Pikiasoft. It's a Finnish company that what they do is they run a software that does diagnosis of the phones. They have incorporated AI so that you can take your phone, take a picture of the phone, both sides, and AI will determine the cosmetic grade of the phone. So without the need of someone subjectively saying, okay, this is a grade A, or so we're seeing a lot of, improvement room in the sense of AI. So that's what we see. The conclusions that we have are going to be continue growing. I like to say that the sector is a little independent of the economic downturns. So when you have a bad year in the economy, like it was last year for the sector, people who maybe cannot afford to buy a new phone will have to buy a used phone because it's become a necessity. And then when the tides are good, what we see is that people that maybe were not being able to change their phone are able to change their phone, and maybe they want to get one that has a brand that is recognized by everyone. It's already 20% of the global market. It's a low number still for the potential. A lot of opportunities for new business models that will become available. The environmental thing that will keep on growing for sure. And in the end, the AI that will help, in our opinion, that will tackle one of the things that is really hard for this industry, that is the subjectivity and the grading that is so diverse from one company to the other. So I think AI will help us a lot to say, okay, this is a grade A according to this AI program, and we'll know what we are talking about. So with that said, I would like to thank you for being here, and I'll be happy to keep talking about this topic that I really enjoy, and I really like to share job with, for example, Roberta and Marina that are here with the team. So thank you very much.